What if I told you that happiness isn't something you find, but something you create every single morning? And it doesn't require money, luck, or the approval of others. All it takes is the right mindset and a few minutes after waking up. Today, we're not going to talk about motivational quotes, but about the time-tested philosophy of Stoicism. It's a practical guide to building an inner fortress. We'll explore 20 simple morning rituals that can transform your day and ultimately your life. So, who exactly were the Stoics? They weren't just bearded men in togas staring impassively at the world. They included emperors like Marcus Aurelius and slaves like Epictetus. What united them was a shared pursuit, finding a way to live a good, meaningful life, regardless of external circumstances. Stoicism is an operating system for the mind, helping you cope with stress, find joy in the little things, and remain calm in the eye of the storm. And it all starts with your morning. So, it all begins with that sound, the one most of us dread, the blaring of the alarm clock. For many, it signals the start of another grueling race, another daily battle. But for a Stoic, it's the very first choice of the day, and that choice, above all else, sets the tone for everything that follows. Picture this: your hand instinctively reaches for the snooze button. It's such a familiar, tempting gesture. Just 9 more minutes of warmth, of blissful oblivion. But what are you really doing in that moment? You're essentially starting your day with an act of procrastination. You're telling your own brain, my intentions aren't important right now. Comfort takes priority. It's a tiny, yet significant, first defeat of the day. Stoics propose a different path, one of mindful awakening. The moment you hear that alarm, don't move. Simply acknowledge, I am awake, I am alive, a new day is here. Then, instead of automatically reaching for the button, ask yourself one simple question. What is my most important task today? It doesn't have to be anything grandiose. Perhaps it's simply to be patient with a colleague or to complete that report. Emperor Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every single morning that he was rising to perform the work of a human being. He believed we were made for collaboration, just as hands and feet are designed to work in concert. To linger under the covers, he argued, was to go against our very nature. So your first, and arguably most crucial victory of the day, is simply to get out of bed. Not because you have to, but because you choose to. It's your initial act of will. You've conquered inertia and opted for action. The day has begun on your terms. Now let's try something that might seem a little unusual at first. This practice is called the premeditation of evils. Sounds a bit grim, doesn't it? But hold on, its purpose isn't to ruin your day right from the start. It's a mental exercise, a kind of inoculation against stress. So, what do? Simply take a moment, sit down, and imagine all the things that could potentially go wrong today. Don't think about global catastrophes or end-of-the-world scenarios. Instead, focus on real, everyday annoyances and mishaps. Maybe you spill coffee all over an important document. You could get stuck in a massive traffic jam. You might receive an unpleasant email from your boss. Or your internet could cut out right in the middle of a crucial call. Got those scenarios in mind? Now ask yourself, so what? Is this really the end of the world? Most likely, no. You can handle each of those situations. But what's the benefit of this practice? First, if any of these things actually happen, you'll already be mentally prepared. The impact won't feel as severe. You'll experience less panic. And second, and this is the crucial part, when your day does go smoothly, you truly begin to appreciate it. A typical, uneventful morning transforms from mere routine into a genuine blessing. You're not attracting negativity. Instead, you strip it of its power of surprise and learn to be grateful for the calm. This brings us to the Stoics' most crucial principle, the fundamental idea that underpins their entire philosophy. If you grasp just this one concept, your life will become significantly simpler. It's called the dichotomy of control. While the name might sound complex, the core idea is incredibly straightforward. Right now, Mentally divide everything in the world into two simple categories. The first contains everything that is entirely within your power. The second holds everything that is completely beyond your control. That's it. There are no other categories. What falls into the first category? Your thoughts, your judgments, your reactions, your decisions, your actions. This is your personal empire, where you are the absolute ruler. And what about the second category? Practically everything else. The weather outside, traffic jams, the economic situation, the past, the future, and most importantly, the opinions and actions of other people. Now, the Stoics teach that 99% of our suffering, anxieties, and disappointments stem from our attempts to control things in the second category. We get angry at the rain, we worry about others' opinions, we try to change people. It's like trying to control the wind. Pointless and exhausting, but you can always adjust your sails. Your challenge for this morning is to clearly define for yourself. Today, I will focus all my energy only on what I can control. My words, my actions, and my thoughts. Everything else is just background noise. The following ritual might seem a bit dark to some, but it's incredibly effective for cutting through the noise and focusing on what truly matters. It's called memento mori, which translates from Latin as remember death. Don't be alarmed. This isn't about falling into despair. It's about truly starting to live. The Stoics weren't morbid pessimists. They were realists. They understood that the awareness of life's finite nature is the most powerful motivator. Every morning, they reminded themselves that this day, this very day, might be their last. Try it right now. Just for a moment, entertain this thought. What if today is all I have? What immediately shifts in your mind? All those petty grievances, fears, worries about what others think of you, all that mental clutter instantly loses its importance. Would you spend your last day on pointless internet arguments? On holding a grudge against a colleague? On worrying about a future that might never come? Of course not. This simple thought acts like a filter. It forces you to ask yourself the right questions. What truly matters to me? How do I want to spend the precious hours of my life? The practice of memento mori isn't about death. It's about living each moment of your life as fully and meaningfully as possible. Now let's broaden our perspective beyond our immediate personal problems. Often in the mornings, we find ourselves overwhelmed by small worries. What to wear, what to cook, how to make it to a meeting on time. These thoughts can feel enormous and critically important. The Stoics offered a powerful exercise to put everything into its proper place. It's called the view from above, or the cosmic perspective. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and imagine yourself like a drone camera, slowly ascending. First, you see your room, then your house, your street. You rise, higher still, and see your entire city spread out like a map below you, then your country, a mere patch on the continent. Even higher, and you see our entire planet, our blue marble, floating alone in the black, silent void of space. Now, from this incredible vantage point, try to spot that morning problem that was bothering you so much, that colleague who annoys you, that traffic jam. Where are they? They've vanished. They've become so utterly insignificant. They're simply invisible on the vast scale of the universe. This exercise doesn't invalidate your problems. It simply restores them to their true scale. It reminds you that you are part of something much, much larger. It's a powerful antidote to self-absorption and ego. Just 1 minute of this flight, and you'll return to solid ground with a much clearer and calmer mind. Right now, we're going to grab the simplest self-reflection tool imaginable, a pen and paper, or, if it's more convenient, the Notes app on your phone. This simple practice will take no more than 3 minutes, yet its effects can last all day. It's a gratitude practice. I know, it might sound like an overused tip from self-help books, but the Stoics practiced this 2 millennia ago, and for good reason. Our brains are hardwired by default to spot problems. They constantly scan our environment for threats and shortcomings. This helped our ancestors survive. But in the modern world, it often leads to chronic anxiety and dissatisfaction. Practicing gratitude is a conscious rewiring of this mechanism. You literally train your brain to look not for what's missing, but for what's already present. So grab your pen and write down 3 things you're grateful for right now. No need to come up with something grand, like world peace. Start with the simplest, most obvious things. I'm grateful for waking up in a warm bed. I'm grateful for the smell of fresh coffee. I'm grateful that my loved ones are healthy. Really feel each of these things. Don't just write it down. Truly feel that gratitude. This simple exercise shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. You start your day not with the thought, I need more, but with, I already have so much. It changes everything. Now let's shift gears from mental practices to physical ones. The Stoics understood that the mind and body are deeply intertwined, and to fortify the spirit they believed sometimes the body needed a small, controlled jolt. They called this the practice of voluntary discomfort. And the simplest, most accessible way to do this? A cold shower? Oh, I know. I can hear your thoughts. Ugh, no thank you. That sounds miserable. It's unpleasant. It's uncomfortable. And you're absolutely right. But that's precisely why it's so effective. Think about it. Every single day, life will inevitably throw unpleasantness and discomfort your way. Things you didn't choose. Traffic jams, illness, conflicts. A cold shower is your personal training ground for resilience. You are voluntarily, by your own choice, stepping into that zone of discomfort for just a minute or 2. What happens in those moments? For one, you're building your willpower. Your brain is screaming, turn it off, it's freezing. But you calmly tell yourself, no, I've decided I'll stay for another 30 seconds. You're demonstrating to yourself who's truly in charge. Secondly, it proves to you that you are capable of far more than you imagine. When you step out from that icy blast, you'll feel a surge of energy and a real sense of accomplishment. You just did something difficult, and suddenly, every other challenge you face throughout the day seems a little less daunting. You're starting your day not by seeking comfort, but with a small yet powerful victory over it. Our mornings often feel like pure chaos. Dozens of thoughts, plans, and notifications bombard our minds before we've even had our first sip of coffee. As a result, we start the day in reactive mode, simply responding to external stimuli without a clear direction. The Stoics, however, were masters of clarity and focus. That's why our next ritual involves defining your single most important priority for the day. Just one. Yes, you might have a list of 20 tasks, but you must choose that one. Single thing that will yield the biggest result or move you furthest towards your goal. Ask yourself, if I could only accomplish one thing today, what would it be? Write it down. Make it as specific as possible. Not work on the project, but write 3 pages of the project report. This simple step acts as your compass. Throughout the day, when calls, emails, and minor tasks try to pull you away, you can always look back at your main objective and ask yourself, is what I'm doing right now moving me closer to it? This helps you say no to everything secondary or non-essential. You're not just busy, you're productive. You're channeling your energy into one focused point. And even if by evening you've only accomplished that one thing, you'll still go to bed with a sense of satisfaction. You'll know the day wasn't wasted. You did what truly matters. Before you step out and engage with the world, it's worth taking a moment for some mental preparation. After all, other people are often the very source of our irritation, anger, and disappointment. The Stoics proposed a brilliantly simple ritual, which they called preparation for human nature. Marcus Aurelius, as emperor, interacting with hundreds of people daily, would tell himself something along these lines each morning. Today I will encounter intrusive, ungrateful, envious, selfish, and deceitful people. Sounds like a recipe for a misanthrope, doesn't it? But then he'd add the crucial phrase, I cannot be angry with them, for they simply don't know what is good or evil, and they act this way out of ignorance. What's the essence of this practice? You don't become a cynic, you become a realist. You proactively accept that people are imperfect. You don't expect everyone to behave perfectly, and when someone does act rudely or selfishly, It's no longer an unpleasant surprise. You don't think, how could they? Instead, you think, there it is. I was ready for this. This alleviates a huge amount of emotional tension. You stop taking others' bad behaviour personally. You simply observe it as a natural phenomenon, like rain or wind, and maintain your inner peace. And now, let's explore one of the most beautiful, yet perhaps most challenging concepts in Stoicism. It's called amor fati, a Latin phrase meaning love of one's fate, or love of one's destiny. This isn't merely about acceptance. It's the next level. An active embrace, even a profound love, for everything that happens. Think about it. Throughout your day, countless things will occur. Some will be pleasant, others decidedly not. Typically, we welcome the good and resist the bad. We expend an enormous amount of energy battling reality, caught up in thoughts like, this shouldn't have happened, or why me? Amor fati proposes an entirely different approach. Wake up each morning and decide that everything, absolutely everything, that unfolds today is precisely as it should be. Even more than that, it's the best possible outcome because it's the very material you're given to work with. Flight cancelled? Excellent. It's an opportunity to read a book or meet new people. Lost your job? Perhaps this is the exact catalyst you needed to finally start your own venture. This doesn't imply passivity by any means. You continue to take action, but you cease fighting against what has already occurred. You embrace events not as obstacles, but as raw material for manifesting your finest qualities, wisdom, courage, and creativity. You don't just utter, okay, I accept this. Instead, you declare, I wanted this to happen. That truly is the pinnacle of self-mastery. Mornings are the perfect time to set your mind for the day ahead, and the best way to do that is by tapping into the wisdom of those who pondered these questions long before we did. So the next step in this ritual is reading, but not the news or your social media feed. Instead, it's about absorbing just one single profound thought. Keep a book of quotes by Seneca, Epictetus, or Marcus Aurelius by your bedside, or any other work you consider a wellspring of wisdom. This could even be a collection of poetry or a philosophical treatise. The essence here isn't to devour as much information as possible. It's about finding one single phrase that truly resonates with you. Today, open the book to a random page, read a few paragraphs, look for a thought that truly echoes your current state of mind. For instance, you might stumble upon Seneca's timeless wisdom. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Stop right there. Don't read any further. Take 2 or 3 minutes to truly ponder this thought. How does it apply to your own life? What are you worrying about right now that exists solely in your mind? Let this one thought become your mental anchor for the entire day. Return to it whenever you feel yourself losing your footing. It's like receiving invaluable advice from a wise friend first thing in the morning. Simple, quick, and incredibly effective. In today's world, true silence has become a rare luxury. From the moment we wake up, we're bombarded with information, notifications, news feeds, podcasts, music. Our minds are constantly buzzing, always processing something new. We've forgotten how to simply be with ourselves in silence. And the Stoics would argue that this is a profound error. That's why our next morning ritual is a practice of silence, just 5 minutes. Yet, these could be the most impactful and productive 5 minutes of your entire morning. Find a quiet spot where you won't be disturbed, sit comfortably, and simply do nothing. No music, no books, no phones. Just be. What happens next? Your mind, accustomed to constant stimulation, will likely start to rebel. Fragments of thoughts, to-do lists, anxieties, and memories will surface. This is perfectly normal. Don't try to fight it. Don't attempt to clear your mind. Your task is simply to observe this flow, much like watching clouds drift across the sky. Don't get involved. Don't analyse. Just acknowledge. There's a thought about work. And there's a memory from yesterday's conversation. This practice isn't meditation in the strictest sense. It's a form of mindfulness training. You're learning to create a small, vital space between yourself and your thoughts. You come to understand that you are not your thoughts, you are the one observing them. Just 5 minutes of this practice each morning can help you maintain calm and clarity of mind throughout your entire day. Stoicism isn't just a collection of intriguing ideas, it's a practical system built on virtues. For Stoics, the ultimate goal in life was to live in accordance with virtue. They identified 4 cardinal virtues: wisdom, justice, courage, and temperance. And morning is the perfect time to consciously choose which one you'll focus on practicing today. Think of it as choosing your virtue of the day, or your theme for the day. This transforms philosophy from an abstract concept into a concrete plan of action. For example, let's say today you choose courage. This doesn't mean you need to perform some grand heroic feat. Courage can manifest in much smaller, everyday ways. Perhaps it means finally making that difficult phone call you've been dreading, or speaking your mind honestly in a meeting, even if your opinion differs from the majority. Or perhaps you choose justice. This means that throughout your day, you'll strive to treat everyone fairly and impartially. This could involve listening to a colleague before jumping to conclusions, or admitting your mistake if you were wrong. Or perhaps temperance. Today, you might resolve not to overeat at lunch, to resist mindlessly scrolling through social media, or to hold back a sharp word during an argument. Choose just one virtue, write it down. Then, throughout your day, actively look for opportunities to practice it. This transforms your day from a series of random occurrences into a deliberate practice in character building. Our brain is an incredibly energy-intensive organ, and one of its most demanding tasks is decision-making. Scientists even have a term for it: decision fatigue. The more small, insignificant decisions you make in the morning, the less mental energy you'll have left for things that truly matter. What to wear, what to eat for breakfast, which route to take. Each of these decisions represents a tiny leak of your willpower and focus. Even Stoics, especially pragmatic figures like Cato, valued simplicity and efficiency. So, the next morning ritual we'll discuss is all about conscious simplification. Take a look at your morning routine and ask yourself, what can I eliminate here? What decisions can I make in advance to free up my mind? The answers can be incredibly simple. Lay out your clothes for the next day the night before. Decide on your breakfast ahead of time. Create a playlist for your commute so you're not wasting time choosing music. The idea is to automate your routine as much as possible. Turn your morning into a clear, well-oiled machine that doesn't demand your active mental participation. Think of how Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg famously wore the same outfit every day. They weren't doing it because they lacked taste. They were simply preserving their most valuable resource, mental energy, for decisions that truly mattered. Simplify your mornings and you'll be amazed at how much clearer your mind becomes throughout the day. We often live inside our heads, consumed by our thoughts, plans and worries. We view the world through a filter of our personal concerns and desires. This simple practice is designed to momentarily pull us away from that internal monologue and bring us back to the real world. It requires nothing but your attention. Simply walk to a window, or, if possible, step out onto a balcony or even outside, and just look. But don't look as you usually do, letting your gaze skim over familiar objects. Look, truly. Pay attention to the sky. What colour is it today? Are there clouds? How are they moving? Look at the trees. Notice the shape of their leaves, how the wind sways their branches. Observe the people walking on the street. Where are they rushing to? What are they thinking about? Feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Hear the sounds of the city, the hum of cars, voices, birdsong. The goal of this exercise is to ground yourself, to feel part of something much larger than your own small world, to realise that while you were worrying about an upcoming meeting, life around you was unfolding in all its richness and complexity. This is a simple form of present moment meditation. It helps reduce anxiety because anxiety always dwells either in the past or the future. But in this moment right now, as you simply gaze at a tree, there is no anxiety. There is only you and reality. Just 1 minute of this observation can bring a profound sense of peace and connection to the world. Fear and anxiety often stem from uncertainty. We're afraid of what we don't know, or what we feel unprepared for. The Stoics were masters of preparation. They understood that the best way to confront fear was to face it head-on, but first, in the safe space of their own mind. This practice is known as mental rehearsal. Think about the most challenging task or uncomfortable conversation you have looming today. Perhaps it's a presentation to your superiors, a crucial discussion with a partner, or a doctor's appointment. Now, instead of simply worrying about it, play out this scenario in your mind like a movie, but don't imagine it going poorly. Instead, visualize yourself handling it in the best possible way. Picture yourself entering the room in vivid detail. Observe your posture, your facial expression, how you carry yourself. Imagine yourself speaking calmly and confidently. Consider potential objections or tough questions, and picture yourself giving well-reasoned and articulate answers. Visualize yourself maintaining your composure, even if the other person becomes emotional. This isn't mere positive thinking. This is strategic preparation. You're building neural pathways in your brain for the desired behavior. When you face the real situation, your brain will already know what to do. It will have a pre-programmed success script. This significantly reduces anxiety and vastly improves your chances of a successful outcome. You'll enter the situation having already won it in your mind. Our language shapes our reality. The words we choose to speak, especially first thing in the morning, often dictate the trajectory of our entire day. And one of the most destructive morning habits is complaining. It's something we often do on autopilot, barely even noticing it. Ugh, Monday again. I barely got any sleep. The weather's absolutely dreadful. I'm really dreading this meeting. Each one of these phrases, whether whispered aloud or just thought to yourself, is an act of voluntarily relinquishing your personal power. You effectively cast yourself in the role of a victim of circumstances. You program your brain to actively seek out negativity and confirm the idea that everything is wrong. A Stoic would argue that complaining about things beyond your control, like the weather or the day of the week, is a mark of foolishness. It's a complete waste of precious energy. This is why our next ritual involves a conscious commitment to eliminating morning complaints. Declare your mornings a whine-free zone. Instead of complaining, try either to simply stay silent or to reframe the thought in a more constructive light. Instead of saying, "I'm so tired," tell yourself, "Today, I'll be extra mindful of my energy and make sure to get to bed early." Instead of thinking, "Awful weather," try, "What a perfect chance to wear my favourite raincoat." This isn't about self-deception. It's a deliberate choice about where you direct your focus. You stop being a passive commentator on your misfortunes and become an active architect of your own mood. Give up complaining, and you'll be astonished by the surge of newfound energy you'll experience. We spend an incredible amount of time thinking about our bodies, how they look, their perceived flaws, and all the ways we could improve them. We often treat them like possessions, objects that should simply conform to our expectations. The Stoics, however, offered a profoundly different perspective. They taught us to view our bodies not as personal property, but as a tool that nature has temporarily lent you. It's not your body to own, but a vessel entrusted to your care and management, and your duty, as a good steward, is to care for this instrument and maintain it in optimal working condition. With this in mind, let your next morning ritual be a short act of gratitude and care for your body. Before you leap out of bed and rush into the demands of your day, dedicate just a couple of minutes to mindful attention. Thank it. Mentally express gratitude for your legs, which will carry you throughout the day, for your hands, which will perform countless tasks, for your lungs, which breathe effortlessly, without your conscious command, and then do something for it. It doesn't need to be a full workout, just a few simple stretches. Arch your back and stretch like a cat. Gently rotate your wrists, ankles or neck. Simply feel your body awaken, coming to life. This shift in perspective changes everything. You stop warring with your body and begin to collaborate with it. You care for it not out of vanity or superficial desires, but from a profound sense of responsibility. After all, it's the only instrument you have to navigate and experience this world, and the more diligently you care for it in the morning, the better it will serve you throughout the entire day. There's a common misconception that Stoicism is purely a philosophy of individualism and self-sufficiency, but that's only half the story. The Stoics firmly believed that humans are social beings. As Marcus Aurelius said, we are born for cooperation, and they believed one of the most direct paths to a meaningful and happy life is through service to others. That's why the second to last morning ritual involves planning one small act of kindness, no matter how tiny. Happiness is a byproduct of meaningful activity. And what could be more meaningful than making someone else's life a little bit better? It moves us beyond our selfish concerns and connects us with others. What might this look like? There's no need for heroic gestures. Just think about how you can offer a bit of care or support today. Send an encouraging message to a friend going through a tough time. Make your partner their morning coffee. Give a genuine compliment to a colleague. Offer your seat on public transport. Simply offer a sincere smile and thank the cashier at the store. The secret is to do it not for any personal gain or praise, simply for the sake of it, as an act of service. By planning this kind of action in the morning, you set an outward-looking intention for your day, rather than an inward one. And paradoxically, it is by helping others that we most often find our own inner peace and joy. And so, we come to our 20th and final ritual. It's the simplest, the quickest, yet arguably one of the most significant. It demands no paper, no time, no willpower. All it asks for is a mirror and a dash of self-acceptance. Stand before the mirror. You've just rolled out of bed. Perhaps you don't look quite like your carefully curated social media self. Your hair's a mess, your face might be a little puffy, and what's the first thing our inner critic does? It springs into action. Ugh. Bags under the eyes again. This skin needs help. I look so tired. The Stoics taught us to treat ourselves with the same compassion and acceptance we extend to others. You are the one constant in your life, the only person you are truly guaranteed to spend every single moment with. So why not start befriending yourself? So, for this final ritual, look yourself directly in the eyes in the mirror and smile. Not an ironic smirk, not a critical grimace, but a genuine warm smile. The kind of smile you'd offer to a beloved friend. With that smile, you're saying to yourself, "Hey, I'm glad to see you. We've got this. We have a new day ahead. Let's make it a great one." It's a seemingly simple physical act, yet it sends a powerful signal to your brain. It seals your morning preparation. You haven't merely woken up. You've consciously primed your mind, prepared your body, and finally made peace with yourself. You are ready. Let the day begin. Here's the translation, adapted for a native English speaker and suitable for AI voiceover. But here's the real kicker, the most surprising twist in this whole story. The true practice of Stoicism doesn't begin when you perfectly execute all 20 points. It starts when you've overslept, missed your morning workout, your boss chewed you out, and you found yourself snapping at the cashier. And it's precisely here, in this moment of perceived failure, that the entire essence of Stoicism is revealed. Stoicism isn't about being an emotionless, perfect robot. It's about, after a setback, telling yourself, "Okay, that happened. It's in the past. What can I control right now?" And what you can control is your very next reaction. It's your decision not to beat yourself up, but to learn from it and try again. Stoic happiness isn't the absence of problems. It's the knowledge that you possess the strength to handle them. This pivotal moment, transitioning from self-blame to self-mastery, that's the ultimate victory. So, what's the takeaway from all this? Not 20 strict rules, but 20 powerful tools in your arsenal. 20 ways to remind yourself each morning that your inner citadel is impenetrable, unless you choose to open its gates. You can't control the world, but you can absolutely control your thoughts about it. And that, as the ancients wisely taught, is more than enough for a truly fulfilling life. Thank you for watching this video to the very end. If you found it helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our future lessons in practical wisdom. Now, a question for you. Which of these morning rituals would you like to try first? Or perhaps you already have your own secret for a happy morning? Share it in the comments below.